and we'll get you going here on this Thursday morning. I've already seen 2 patients today and been up and running. My primary care today is going to be the Civivi Imperium. Hey Marcos, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. Good morning. We got Joe and KJ in here as well, and I'm playing around with the CVV Imperium to start us off. I hope everyone is having a good day. KJ, I'm excited by the project. I'm excited that you're excited. That's even better. that makes me feel vindicated that it's the right thing to do at the right time. When people have enthusiasm about an idea, then that's usually a good sign. No Carrie yet this morning. Yeah, what's everyone got on them? I'm always interested in hearing what you have. You just had dialysis this morning. Oh, I am so sorry. I hope you're doing good. Dialysis is rough. My brother-in-law was on dialysis for many years. Did get a kidney, and now I'm afraid that that's starting to go bad. So we'll probably be looking at him being on dialysis again at some point, which is it's rough. It's rough. I have a lot of patients that are on it. Some do really well. I've had some patients do extraordinarily well, and other patients have a hard time. There's just no way around it. Well, let's see here. So today, like I said, I'll be talking about some of the knives I have and like to carry, and just have fun hanging out and talking. I did have some stories I had been thinking about telling, but they're eluding me now. So I have to see if I get triggered on something somebody says as to what to talk about. CVV Imperium. This is the shredded carbon fiber with the copper flakes. I got it off the secondhand market. It's an excellent knife. Another one of those knives is a steel frame lock with real thin steel on the internal liners, and so it feels just a little plasticky, a little thin. But having carried it for several years now, it's held up well. The locking is still at like 25%. I mean, it's really doing good. It's a good knife. Nitro V, I think. Let me double check my steel. Nitro V. And anyway, very good knife. So I did bring a couple other knives to hang out and talk about as people going. 2.5 years in on dialysis. Wow, that's good. That means you're over probably most of the worst stuff, like the clogging of the ports and the just the general decline that happens because of all the stress of having to go to dialysis, I assume 3 times a week. It can be a drag, but once you get after about a year or so, you get into a routine. Your body knows what to expect. I hope it gets easier. I can't say for sure. It just seems like it does with my patients. It really does. So yeah, getting old is no fun. That is for sure. I wish that things that I wish we had been told when we were kids or grandparents had told us. They told us to sit up straight. What they didn't say is sit up straight, or you'll suffer from severe back pain and neuropathy later on in life, and you will really suffer. I mean, if they had spelled it out, it would have been a little bit better. Hey, Blue, good morning. I hope the morning finds you well, healthy and whole, and going on. Oh, they told you why? Well, they didn't really tell me why. They just always told me to sit up straight and have good posture and everything. Never really said it's because you'll suffer if you don't. you know. Another good one's always wash behind your ears. By the way, if you don't wash really good behind your ears, you got a problem. It will become a problem. Yeah, it's a great place to grow all kinds of stuff that can be bad for your body. As you hear flipping in the background is the Civivi Imperium Blue. It's what I'm carrying as my primary today. Do have a couple of others I like to carry. I'm carrying a Pena. This is the Pena Caballero with the ebony inlay and M390 blade, front flipper, titanium frame lock, a rather small knife. Let's see if we can give YouTube algorithm a good starting point for the AI generated short that it's going to create today. So the Pena Caballero is a very good knife. It's a smaller gentleman's carry type knife. Fits in the hand really well. Uh, Very slicey, very well made. Again, it's I think one of those Riot manufactured knives that uh, is hi Huggy, is a is just you can just tell Riot makes certain knives, and you can just tell their construction language. I don't know if that's a thing. Yeah, that ebony inlay is really good. Um, I'll remember that, KJ, when I start looking desperate for money. Might be able to sell that one to you. KJ has bought a couple of my knives from me over the past, so I'm teasing him about that because they were good. They were they were good knives, and I hope he's treasuring them. One of them, in fact, was a Protech, right? You got the Protech Newport, I think, from me. Yeah, I remember. I don't forget things like that. Still miss it. It hurts. He's having to sell off one of my kids. Okay, I hope you got a kick out of that. Most for Protech. Yeah, yeah. I like my Protex. I guess that's a great segue into the other knife I brought to show off today. We'll get there and put this away. Always put your tools away. Is a Protech, and brought the Protech Whiskers Magic. This little bolster release out the side auto is a really cool auto. It doesn't have any button. You literally just slide this bolster over, and voila, you have action. I have seen, interestingly enough, I've seen a few companies that have made these types of hidden bolster automatic knives, and some of them are better than others, but Boker recently came out with some that I've seen, or I've seen them at a local shop that I guess they're not really new or anything, but I've seen them at a local shop, and they look pretty nice. $150, $170, I think, and very nice bolster action out the side auto. Very, very, very nice knives. I've considered getting one if I had the money laying around, not being used for anything. Oh man, speaking of money, man, it has been an insane couple of weeks. We had the house air conditioner die, which if you're in South Texas, you don't live without air conditioning. You survive on your air conditioning. So we had that die. We had my daughter's air conditioning die, and I had a tire get a double puncture with two nails side by side. I thank God that because it was a double puncture and they couldn't repair it, they had to honor the warranty and give me a brand new tire for like $20. But man, that could have been a problem. And I'm also thankful that I went to the tire shop where I had gotten the tire as opposed to like one of the side things. Um, Down here, you're always picking up stuff. I'm sure that's probably true everywhere, right? If you drive a lot, there's always these fix a flat shops on the side and stuff. They wouldn't have been able to repair it if I'd pulled into one of those and had them pulp it out. I would have been riding on my spare because they yeah, that's a double puncture like that. It's just too big of a hole. They can't clog it up adequately. Um, but it's really weird. I'm kind of freaking out on the idea of it being two large nails side by side. How that could happen, it makes me wonder if someone has something going on. There's like some brujeria going on or something weird. And there's been a lot of things going, sideways. So naturally, I've taken steps to correct that using my mega powers and my own brujeria or whatever. And I pray. Anyway, but I've done what I can to mitigate if there's any weird stuff going on. But man, that is just really strange to have all those things happen at the same time within a week period. And it has and so here's the irony in my life. My work is pretty much set, based upon need, right? Companies contact me and they need a therapist to see their patient, and so the my income's dependent upon how many patients there are. I mean, if there's a lot of patients coming in, I can fill up my entire work week and I'm full. If there isn't, new tire plugs that screw in. Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out. No, I haven't seen those. I try not to repair tires. I try not to have problems with my tires. Don't we all? What was I saying? Oh my goodness. Oh, my work is dependent upon the amount of business coming in, right? Well, for like the week before all this stuff happens, was so slammed the past 2 3 weeks that I couldn't see straight. I was so busy, and usually when that happens, it means that life is building up for something that's going to go wrong. It's so weird how that tends to happen, but that does seem to be the case. That it'll build up, and then I end up with the resources needed to take care of the problem barely. And it's like, oh, I thought I was getting ahead. I'm sure we all have that problem in life at some point. Yeah, Blue, AC down here in South Texas is not only a must, it is a it's what would you call it? It's like food and water. If you don't have the AC, you're gonna have problems. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to live. So, uh, um, yeah, it was a thing. There we go. Get some power into that phone. It was a thing. All those things at once, and so hopefully we're over that. We're moving on to better things. That's why I'm carrying the Imperium today to take dominance. Right, Imperium, a great knife. It really is for the price. I think these came out. I think this one with the carbon fiber was under 100. I want to say I picked it up on the secondary for maybe like 50 or 60 or something, which is really cheap. So very very good knives. Same thing with the Penas. Love my Penas. They're awesome knives. Uh, I didn't see a whole lot of new people popping in today. But if there is anyone new here lurking, I ask you to please like and subscribe, and more importantly, subscribe to my channel to help me get over that 1,000 point. And please watch as many videos as you have the stomach for. Of my different knives, I have a lot of different short videos with. I did shorts before they were shorts, right? With different knives, with just like a singleton knife. I also have discussion videos with multiple knives talking about different things, blade steels, ways I collect, different knife brand groups. Thank you, Mistake Creator. I appreciate it. Please, like I said, subscribe and go and watch as many of the videos as you have the stomach for. Or you know what? Even better, put your TV and your video system on loop on my channel and just let it run. If I see like 1,000 hours rack up over the course of a week, I'll know that's exactly what people did. So please do it. I've been tempted to try that myself. The only problem is that YouTube loves to stick other people's videos in my stream. Do you believe that? How rude is that? You believe they do that? I can't believe they do that. I say that tongue in cheek because, of course, my channel isn't big enough that they promote my own videos to me. That's very funny. Although I have noticed my shorts showing up in the shorts stream more recently, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool. Of course, always in my pocket is the small Sabinza 31. I like to have it with me pretty much all the time because it's like so smooth and flat. It just lays in the pocket. You never even notice it's there. And by the way, you can flip a Sabinza. All those people who say you cannot flip Sabinzas, they are wrong. They are really, really wrong. It's all in the lubrication and that's it. I mean, this thing is a slow roll. It's just fine, but it flips just fine most of the time. As I fail to flip. Really good knife. So I've already worn the blue off the thumb studs completely. So, and it's got snail trails for people who say that people don't use and carry their knives. There you go. You can see this sucker gets carried and banged around and used. It's such a reliable knife that I kind of feel like I have to carry it. So what else is going on? Story time. You want to hear a story about finding a dead person? I I've had some experiences over the years going into people's houses. You never know what you're gonna find, and this one is a tragic story. It was a rough one. I arrive at this person's house, and uh, a girl in a bathrobe answers, and she has her grandfather sitting on the couch. She's like, "I'm just taking a shower. I'm almost done." And like turning into like a one of those hustler articles, right? Playboy article. No. Anyway, hardly. I was like, okay, well, I'll sit here with your grandfather. And she leaves the room. I sit down next to the guy and hello, how you doing? You know, in Spanish, ¿cómo está? Me llamo Patricio, estoy feliz de verse. No response. So I nudge him. No response. I reach down, check his pulse, and he is ice cold, and there is no pulse. So then I'm rubbing on his chest, going, "Hello, you there?" Because I don't know if you know that, but if you grab someone's sternum and you rub it firmly, it's a very uncomfortable feeling that doesn't actually cause injury or pain, but it will cause people to react. People feel vulnerable and they'll jerk and respond. No response. About that time, the granddaughter walks out and is standing there looking at me doing this. I'm going, you might want to have a seat, I tell her. I'm going to be calling 911 right now. I think your grandfather is no longer with us. So I call 911. I don't even start CPR because he's not. There's, I mean, like I said, he's ice cold. There's nothing there. He'd been probably from the moment she went in the shower. He had probably passed away. It was a rough one. So, yeah, you never know what you're going to run into in my line of business. We call 911. Paramedics come out. The police have to come out because it's a big deal. Someone passed away, right? Police come out. I'm there about a half hour. This poor girl, she couldn't have been more than 19 or 20, is just distraught. I mean, she is just. I mean, she's just in shock. She just is totally out of it. And she was watching. Her parents are at work and busy, and she doesn't know what to do. It was a very rough situation. So we got her through it, and then the paramedics, he had to stay there until the coroner could arrive. They did eventually let me go. And then the investigating deputy calls me back. I didn't get a statement from you. I need you to come back and give me a full statement of what happened. So I had to turn around and go back and do that. That was a rough one. That was a rough one. There's only so much you can do under those circumstances. You just comfort the person and encourage them to, um, you know, stay calm about everything. There's nothing they can do that's going to change anything at that point. And so all you can do is just cope really and comfort. So that's what we try to do. But that was a rough one. I have arrived a couple of other times to the door and had the family, because the nurses failed to notify us, or it just happened overnight, have the family tell me that a patient had passed away, and that can often be difficult as well. The the trauma that people are going through, and then to have someone just barge into their life and say, "Hey, I'm here to do therapy on your dead family member," that can just be, it can be rough. And so, yeah, try to be sensitive about it, but yeah, that's a rough one. Had another episode, since everyone seemed to be a little bit interested in these stories. Had another episode where I was at a nursing home and walked by a room. A lady was in the process of coding, and nurses yelling for assistance. And so we're trying to. So I run in, try to assist with the CPR, and we're trying to do CPR suction training, because a lot of times when a person has a heart attack or something, they vomit. You lose sphincter control of your muscles. You tend to have bowel and bladder issues, and you tend to vomit. And so I'm trying to suction her out so that she can get air into the airway and stuff. And the darn suction machine exploded. I mean, exploded. So it's spraying. I mean, this poor lady. It's not funny, but it's pretty rough. So it's spraying, vomit and phlegm and mucus all over everybody in the room. I grab it and I'm trying to put it back together so we can get it working. And we finally get it working and get her suctioned out. But she was pretty much gone. And the reason I mean, the really creepy thing, or the really weird thing in this story is, I was staring in her eyes the whole time. I could see her pass away. I could see it the moment. I guess the light went out of her eyes, for lack of a better thing. It was a really, really freaky experience that I don't want to ever have again. Um, But yeah, I mean, there was just this moment where she was there, freaking out and terrified, to not there anymore. And yeah, that was a really weird experience. So let's move back over to knives. Although somehow I got more people watching now with this story than I do over the knives. So maybe I'll just tell more stories. Blue, uh, go play with toxic gases. Yay, Blue. You have a wonderful day, Blue. I will look forward to you coming in and joining me the next time, please. Today I was and am flipping the Civivi Imperium. This is the carbon fiber with copper shred inlay or components with it, composite, and a very cool knife. I had also brought a Protech with me since we were talking about Protechs. Past couple of days, I will probably continue bringing a Protech with me every day just to tease people and get people to look. We've got the Protech Whiskers. This is the uh, hidden bolster outside auto. You just press up right there on that bolster like that, and it comes out. Freaking beautiful, wonderful knife. I love this knife. This is, by the way, it's a fun knife to take to bars and do the whole. I bet you can't open my knife thing. How do you open this damn thing? Yeah, like that. Especially once you show them the first time, you just go, "Oh, it's just easy. Just open it like that." And they're like, "Huh? How'd you do that?" "Oh, it's real simple. I just go like this." Anyway, a fun knife to play with, and yeah, you can get free drinks if you know how to use it right. And last but not leastly, we had possibly going to get sold at some point to KJ there. I'm teasing you, KJ. The Pena. This is the Pena Caballero. Very beautiful knife. I love this knife. Um, it does have a little bit of blue on it there. Just saying, KJ. Flipper. It's a smaller knife though, KJ. I don't know how it would. You have bigger hands, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how you would do. I have smaller hands, so. Um, but it is a pretty cool knife. Anyway, so there you go. Those have been the knives that I'm carrying today and flipping, and then I've been telling a little bit of a PT story of home health and nursing home life. Uh, which, if you don't know, I live in South Texas, about 7 miles or so from the Rio Grande and the border with Mexico, in the McAllen, Texas area along the Rio Grande, like I said. And I do physical therapy and home health, and I collect knives. I'm a knife enthusiast, knife collector, to steal a line from Middle Complex. Um, and I like hanging out and talking. So I've gotten to the point. In fact, that was one of the stories I was going to talk about today, and I mean, I can spend a few more minutes here. It looks like talking, and that was: is anyone else getting burnt out on knives? I mean, I don't know. I'm on knife collecting. I enjoy my knives, my flipping them. I enjoy the channel content. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy the community. I enjoy watching other people's videos on knife topics nowadays more so than knives themselves. I've kind of reached a point, I think, in my collecting where I'm like, I've got almost everything that I want, and if I don't, it's out of my price range. It's some of that really nice stuff that most of us will never own. And here I am talking while I'm carrying a Sabinza that I use for everyday use, right? Now, so we're talking the more expensive stuff, as far as it goes. I I've reached a point where I kind of like, I don't see anything coming out on the knife market that tickles my fancy. I mean, there are some nicer knives. I mean, QSP's put out a couple of things. Different makers do put out things, and I still want to collect. Like, I wouldn't mind getting an Excalibur from Middle Complex because I like to collect by famous makers or YouTube channels or whatever. For example, I have a knife from Jeff, Cutlery Lover. Maybe I'll bring that one with me next for tomorrow's live stream, which was one of the knives he put out over the years and stuff. And so I enjoy collecting and getting knives that way, that have meaning to me, that are, I guess, they have history. They have pedigree. But I just have not seen anything in all the stuff coming out that really appeals to me in the price ranges that these companies want. I mean, Spyderco's have stayed consistently expensive, and same with Benchmade. But my lord, Benchmade has not put out anything lately that appeals to me at all. They've rehashed some of the same old stuff, and some of the stuff they've put out has just been miserable. The jumping over to Spyderco's are same thing. Now they've put out some of their more tactical designs or whatever. They've been pretty cool, and I wouldn't mind checking them out. The variation on the Shaman without the finger choil, I can't remember what it's called right now off the top of my head, but it's not bad. But I just it's none of these are really appealing to me in that kind of $180 price range. I mean, it's like, geez. I don't know. So I'm just wondering if anyone else is kind of feeling that. I think maybe because I'm noticing that in terms of knife channels and creator content, that people are moving more towards conversational content and just hanging out and talking like I'm doing right now. And it seems to be appealing to people more than, oh, hey, here's this knife from this brand, and we really want to push this. Or if you remember, like what Birdshot IV or Birdshot 4, actually, right? They would do. They would be promoting a particular knife, and then they'd bring out all their Civivis. Like if it was a new Civivi knife brand, item, and they would promote it, and then they'd bring out and talk about Civivis and stuff, and that's cool. But and that content still kind of appeals to me because of the knife collection part, not so much the new knife part. And they of course have moved away, and they're not doing anything like that anymore. It's a pity to see what's been going on. I hope they do well. Um, with all the challenges that they're facing. I really do. And it's been a rough one. But just knives, just the newer knives that are coming out just don't appeal to me. Whether it's because I'm saturated, I already have most of the knives that I've wanted over the years, or if it's because of the design, the market's saturated, where they're just not coming up with new appealing designs or makes or models. It's more like variations on a theme, kind of like if you get into classical music. At some point, all the classical music is just variation on a theme, right? You have, how many toccata and fugues can you listen to, right? No one does it better than Bach, by the way. No one. Toccata and Fugue in D minor, one of the best pieces of all time. And if you don't know that one, it's the one that goes do 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 do. Yeah. Anyway, they play it for horror movies all the time. It's just an incredible piece. So anyway, I was just curious if anyone else has been kind of feeling that kind of burnout on the collecting side of wanting to acquire new knives and having new knife days or whatever. I just really haven't had anything jumping out at me that I want to commit to the kind of expenses that they are now. I mean, back in the day, I was doing a lot, but I mean, my goodness, 2 years ago, everything was 2/3 or less the price, half the price. They've just keep going up and up and up. And so I just think things have gotten out of hand in the knife manufacturing world. Or maybe it's just inflation in general. Again, I tried to avoid politics with this channel, but maybe it is just inflation. But I just don't see that the value has continued to go up. What is that curve that Nick Chavez talked about? That curve of diminishing returns. Yeah, it's they're pushing that curve more and more with stuff that they're putting out, to the point where it's like, well, yeah, it's a nice knife, yeah. If I didn't have three others like it, I might pick it up, but I've got 2, 3 others just like it. Yeah, it makes it hard for me to really be all that excited. And the same thing's kind of gone on with knife steels. I mean, the new, what is it, Magnamax that's coming out. Maybe I'll pick it up because just it's like a Spyderco in it or something. Although I've heard they're having trouble with their heat treat or something. But I just don't see the appeal there for me anyway. It's just not been jumping out at me. So that's kind of why I've wanted to do live streams. It's just so I can talk about other stuff, and instead of trying to do knife videos discussing knives that I really am not feeling enthusiastic about. So it's been a rough patch for the past year, I guess, in terms of knives. I even did a video on why I didn't buy very many knives, just not stuff appealing to me. So it is what it is. At this point, I need to get going because I need to go see my patient. Today's knives, once again, I'm carrying the Civivi Imperium. It is just an excellent flipper, as you've been hearing me flip it on bearings. Shred carbon fiber, shred carbon fiber with copper inlay. We also had the Pena knives Caballero with the ebony wood inlays. A very beautiful front flipper. I guess I was going front flippers today, even though it's not Friday. front flipper Friday. And then the last one today, not last, but one more was the Protech Whiskers Magic. So all of which are freaking incredible knives. And like I said, it's kind of hard to be enthusiastic about others when you get knives that are coming close to perfection. How do you upscale? How do you upstage some of these guys? I don't know. I'm having some quandaries on this, so maybe some discussion later on after the video would help. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about that. Anyone watching this later, please leave a comment and let me know what y'all think. I also didn't get a pocket check out today. People really didn't tell me what they were carrying. I don't know what y'all were carrying, but at some point we need to start doing pocket checks regularly on these things. So plan on maybe tomorrow telling me what you're carrying and can do this up. Maybe I can get enthusiastic again about different knives that I haven't heard of and start looking them up and checking them out. So, all right, wrap this thing up. God bless you all. I hope this finds you well, and I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. It's been Patrick. Now is where you get to look at my nostrils while I send this thing to be canned. There we go. We are going to short. What is it doing? It was doing that. No, it's not. It doesn't like my shorts. Oh well. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.